Hello and welcome back, everybody. After a long away, we are back, the FHP podcast. I'm your host, Antonio Capos, alongside Ben Rutledge, and we are here with your hockey content.
We're back, baby. I know we say this. I feel like almost every time we record an episode, we say we're back.
It's like the last 5 episodes is like after a long time away in a galaxy far, far away.
Shout out the GOAT, Star Wars, bro. But yeah, we're back. We're more than excited to. And, you know, we've changed up some of the process. You're going to definitely see some different stuff out of us, but I think it's much higher quality. And we're excited with where we have this podcast planning to go, hopefully.
Yeah, brand new setup, brand new audios, and brand new ideas. And we are set to go for more than 3 months this time. We are in it for the long haul.
Yes, sir, baby. Yes, sir.
You know who else was almost in it for the long haul? Gavin McKenna was almost behind bars for the long haul. Shout out my boy. And I'd like to pose this question to start. Like, I prefer it when we have more people to ask the question, but it's just the two of us. Was the sucker punch valid? What are you doing? Somebody comes up to your mom and is like, "You a hoe."
I mean, I think it's totally justified, in my opinion. I think by all accounts, I mean, obviously we weren't there and there's no video of it, but by all accounts, it was more than just one comment. It was persistent comments. He was told to stop. And then McKenna slept him and broke his jaw in 3 places because it's made of Swiss cheese, apparently.
Forget the NHL, man. Go to the UFC. Like, you're going to make more money there, probably. Right?
Bro, people forget, man. People forget that Canadians are like way tougher than you think. Like, the average Canadian has the ability to punch you in the face if they need to. So, yeah,
look,
he's a dog, man. He's a dog.
The guy getting punched was like,
I presume American. You got a jaw like that, you're probably American.
Yeah, that's probably true. He's probably some hick from Alabama. Your mom.
I'm gonna guess he's from Pennsylvania, but I'm pretty sure that's where Penn State is.
He could be visiting in from town.
Penn State could very much not be in Pennsylvania, so I'd just like to throw that out there that I apologize to our American viewers that I don't know necessarily where Penn State is.
Definitely is in Pennsylvania. It's got it.
I mean, you'd hope so, right? You'd hope so. I'm Googling it.
You're gonna fact check it, but while you're doing that, how do we think this is gonna affect his draft stock? Like, the thing is,
it is in Pennsylvania. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. W ball knowledge. He followed.
I don't think it should
going to jail by having an 8-point night. So I feel like it's like
he also had a monster performance in the outdoor game the night this all went down. Like, he had the game-winning assist. He scored a goal and did this thing with 80,000 around him. Like, I mean, he's buzzing right now. Dude, after a piss poor World Juniors. That is the best way I can describe it.
Dude,
even though he led the tournament in points.
We need more personalities in the NHL. What's a better personality than somebody that almost had to go to jail for beating somebody up? Like, that's just...
Exactly. I mean, and it's not like, listen, in the grand scheme of things, like having to go to jail because you punched someone in the face in a bar fight, really not that bad in terms of you look what NFL and NBA players be doing. Like, it's really not that bad. And so I think it's a good story personally for him. I think it shows that he's tough. He respects his teammates. He will stand up for his teammates. I know it wasn't his teammate in this situation, but have to imagine reverse roles. He'd do the same.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're pretty close to one of your teammates.
I mean, literally since that situation has happened, he's almost there were talks of him not even going 1, not going 2. Like, there was talk Stenberg, maybe even Verhoff ahead of him. And pretty much since then, McKenna won is basically all I've seen and read online, is that everyone's like, yeah, McKenna's going 1. He started to play better. And I mean, he's an absolute horse.
And you know, as the NHL team that's drafting him, he's gonna actually be a pest. He's gonna actually, when he needs to put his nose,
he's got some flair, bro.
Yeah,
he doesn't have that. He doesn't have any Mitch Marner in him.
Only show up for their country and not for their own team at Auston.
Chill, bro. Chill. He won MVP on the Leafs. Okay.
Fair enough, but you know what? He's never gonna win. Finals.
You know what he does have, though? The same amount of cups as Pasternak. So I don't want to hear it.
He doesn't have the same amount as Marchand. So
he has more trophies than Pasternak. And Marchand's a Panther. So no shit.
Well, he was my favorite player growing up. Give me a break. Okay. All right. With that, we're going to head into our intro and we'll get right into the episode. Here we go.
Marchand, he'll drag it right in for a chance. Holy mackerel, what a save made by Marc-Andre Fleury. Unbelievable by Auston Matthews. A complete turnaround. We're going to Boston, baby.
All right. That needs an update, but come on. Brad Marchand, man. You got to love it.
Man, we had an idea when we made that, like probably, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago now at this point. It's just a common time frame range, okay? It's not my fault. But I think given the like fact that we were pretty young when we made that and like technology was not what it was, and we used nothing you had to pay for. Everything we made that with was free. That's a pretty nasty intro.
Hey, what can I say? I'm just like that on the keyboard.
Yeah, I kind of forgot you made that.
Movie.
Kind of wish I didn't glaze that as hard.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
Right. Well, what's happened in your life since last time we were here? Fucking,
I mean,
a calendar year ago.
I mean, for sure, it was a lot. It was definitely a lot. But went to Mexico over the Christmas break. That was fun. Went to the all inclusive with the fam and then our family friends who we go with every year. That was obviously fun. My girlfriend got me a William Nylander jersey for Valentine's Day. That's a pretty disgusting gift in my opinion. Hard to do better than that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. You go, my girlfriend got me a Willie, and I fucking.
I said William. I didn't even say a Willie's.
In 2026.
All right.
Right now.
All right, buddy. That was way too far. But it's been good. I fingers crossed, maybe locking up a corporate job for the summer over the next kind of week or two. So super excited about that. And yeah, we're just growing up. And the boys attacked Western University. The boys attacked Western University. Delilah's rinsed us. Rinsed us.
I mean,
they won. They won for sure.
Buddy.
Yeah, when you drop $250 on Fat Bastard's burrito.
Okay. I'll have you know. I was falling asleep as I ordered, and I'm pretty sure most of that was the mustache ordering. Like, quite literally, my phone was just pressed up against the face. But hey, the boys ate it. So at the end of the day, it's just like I was just a family guy.
You're a man of the people.
I'm feeding a family,
Mm-hmm. But yeah, what's up with you? Anything new with you?
I'm at that age now where back-to-back nights out makes me want to never go out again, and then the next night actually want to go out again. So we're buzzing.
You had a 2-day hangover yet?
No,
I haven't yet either.
Although I've learned that when you're sick and potentially have like something that you might need to go on antibiotics for, you probably shouldn't go out 3 times in a 2-week span,
bro.
And swallow is in, by the way.
When I was in first year, I was sick for 5 months straight and would go out every weekend. How I did that, I genuinely do not know. But dude, I would be like sick. I would have like a fever and I would just get a few drinks in me and then I'd be fine.
Well, that, and also when you get home, like you don't really have to deal with like the mouth breathing. Like, your nose gets congested. Like if you're drunk enough, you just pass out right away and you don't even have to like, flail around.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Not being able to breathe through your nose is bro, that's like I got sick over the reading week, bro, and I was visiting my girlfriend in Vancouver, skiing in Whistler, and I got strep throat, and I also had like a GI issue, like I had stuff coming out both ends,
Oh,
and I had like an 101 fever too,
Good
with
Lord.
like 9 out of 10 throat pain. Like that was the most banged I've ever been by an illness. It was brutal, so I can relate to you.
buddy. My boy actually has a similar thing happen recently, and he was like Google MDing himself, and Google MD is like, you probably have diabetes, and he's like, no. And he goes in to see the doctor at the walk-in clinic, and the walk-in clinic person gives him a script to go get blood work done for diabetes. And so, thank God he doesn't
You
actually
got the
have
shoulds, bro.
But
Oh,
buddy,
he doesn't.
at 20, that's a fucking wake-up call if I've ever seen one. Like, you might have diabetes. You might fucking
Bro, getting the sugar diabetes at 20 years old is impressively speed running that.
No, and I was like, well, what if when I go into the walk-in, that's what they tell me? Like, I'm a big boy, you know, like, gotta get eating right. And then last night, it was like the last 20 reels before I went to sleep was like, this is how you eat clean. This is like, these are your meal prep meals that are healthy. And like, the universe is sending me messages.
You even the algorithm knows, bro. Even the algorithm knows. It's okay. It's okay. We have scheduled gym time next week. Okay, we're chilling.
Oh, I'm so ready. You know what? I'm gonna be so into it that I'm gonna become an athlete. I'm gonna go to the RBC tryouts for the next Olympics. That's how into it I'm gonna be.
I mean, we could do doubles luge, man. You're the bottom though.
Dude,
you're the bottom though.
Skeleton just. Bro, I got the
all fun and games till we shatter our neck because we don't really know what we're doing.
I have a lugeing event like a few
I saw
years
someone
back.
I saw someone broke their neck in bobsled. The like
This
thing
year?
tipped and they like no it yeah, but it was like an Olympian who was training and they got hurt like in training. The thing like tipped and they smoked their head on one of the like turns because their head was still out of the sled and the sled was on its side and they broke like they lived, but they like broke their neck. I was like, damn, bro.
God,
that's brutal.
They're out here like, oh man, they're just a vegetable at that point.
Well, not necessarily. I didn't read into the severity of it, but like you can break a vertebrae like down here and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but if you're smoking your head off something, you ain't breaking a vertebrae in your butt.
Yeah, fair.
You're gonna be looking like what's his name? Hawkins, bro.
I mean, hey man, there's worse people to be than Stephen Hawking. Like that's a pretty smart dude right there.
But Stephen Hawking's without the brain is the issue.
True. Then you just talk robotically, but like you don't say smart stuff. So you're just like,
You're Stephen Hawking's on a pill at Epstein Island.
Oh, right. That's a sign to move on. It's a sign to move on. Let's talk about let's talk about, Antonio, we're a diverse podcast here. Obviously, we're going to get into some NHL and some other hockey related stuff. But what were your thoughts on the Olympics, excluding the hockey portion? What were your thoughts on the Olympics overall? Did you watch it much? Don't be afraid to be honest. I prefer your honesty.
I caught some of the curling, some of the lugeing, some of the skiing. That's like those.
Was that the finger flick?
Yeah, the finger flick. I was a big fan of that. I really liked when they were like, I was enjoying the shit talking that was occurring. I was got me
See, man, Canada stands on business, bro. Don't fuck with the Canadians, man.
I mean, we did just cheat.
It was behind the hog line. I don't care. It was behind the hog line.
You're not allowed to touch the stone, though. You have to.
It was behind the hog line, bro. It didn't do anything.
Other things than the handle, bro.
I know, but it was behind the hog line. Okay, that's the argument I'm going to stick to. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Shout out if you know that. BOP, holding it down.
Good God, man. But did you see the skier that had a torn ACL and she was like, fuck it.
Lindsey Vonn? She's like the GOAT, too. Like that. She's like the GOAT of skiing. And she like Alex Smithed her leg, basically.
Mm-hmm. God. My mom did like a minor version of that. She low-key is a goated skier, and she was like learning how to go down a Black Diamond backwards.
That's what Jesus.
Her. Yeah. She was using like dual skis, and then she was going backwards, and she went over a mogul, and like her knee just went backwards, and she couldn't ski for like the next 5 years. So that was
that's tough, bro. That's tough.
I was thinking of like maybe snowboarding is the way. Maybe that's what I got to go for next.
Yeah, until you catch an edge and you just smoke your face right off the ground. Like just wha-bam.
No.
It's all fun and games till that.
I'm gonna be the goat. I'm gonna be going off like jumps and shit. Like I'm gonna shout out Justin Gonzalez, bro. That guy, that was inspirational to me. Like we weren't in high school, but he was nasty.
Bro, Minnie's brother, like my girlfriend's brother, can like do flips and stuff on skis. Like he's disgusting.
Flips?
Yeah.
Buddy,
he did this. He did this thing at Whistler. I think it's called like coffin run. I'm pretty sure, and it's literally because you drop in like 5 feet, like it's a 5 foot drop in essentially, and then you're in something that's like barely wider than you. That's a chute that leads to like a 10-foot drop at the bottom of it, and like once you're in it, you just are gonna pick up speed and you can't slow down, or else you're gonna hit the rocks. And like it's a really famous thing at Whistler, and like he did that, bro. Like he dropped into it and like landed the whole thing, and I was like, "What am I watching?" I was like, "Dude, you like it would have to start with there would have to be 5 figures for me to even think about trying that."
Well, but like, so what do you do? Do you just go like insane speed just off the jump?
Yeah, off like a 10-foot jump onto like so you have to land it, and you can't slow yourself down whatsoever once you start in it. I could do the start. I would just break something coming out the other end. Actually, I don't even know if I could land a 5-foot drop in. Like you literally just drop 5 feet, have to land it, and then are immediately like tight rock tunnel.
Good Lord, dude.
I know.
I don't understand like high level skiers and like snowboarders. They're another breed.
I know.
Another breed.
Crazy. This kid's in grade 12 too. Like this guy's like, he's like 17 years old. He's nasty. Shout out, bro.
Why?
Shout out.
Why do you have to squeeze 6'7" into anything? He's like 17 years old.
I messed up. I couldn't remember how old you were when you were in grade 12. It's fine. Okay. It's fine. I'm trying to think. What other did I watch any other Olympics? Not really, not gonna lie. It was pretty much like curling. Actually, I did watch the quad god, bro, the American figure skater who's was world number 1 by a mile. He didn't win. Saw that because he fell twice.
Oh yeah, I thought
like Mladen or something.
I thought somebody
he did a backflip,
crashing out.
No, that was speed skating. That was someone else. Someone else. He was in figure skating. He did a backflip. He's like the only person who had the balls to try it.
I actually saw that. How do you not win after that? You're like,
because he fell.
Not that impressed.
He fell twice.
Oh, well.
I know.
Yeah, I don't exactly understand how that
I also think figure skating is all rigged. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, where do these points come from? Like, I'm just watching the screen and they go like 23, then they're like 34, and I'm like,
dude, I'm pretty sure like when I saw it, it's like a bunch of like circles, and you have to do like certain skills over your like routine.
Well, yeah, they know your routine and they know what you're supposed to hit. And so they like judge you if you don't hit them. But like, I just don't understand like why one jump's worth 12 points and one jump's worth 15 points. And they look basically the same to me.
I mean, they have to be like some level of skill that we
I know. There was actually, did you see the controversy
I'll get my boy on here. We should have my boy Eamon. He used to figure skate until like he was like 18 or something.
Yeah, he would know, bro. Yeah, you did choir. They had
I still do.
Bro, the controversy, did you see where like the French judges like tanked the American score because they knew the American like pair was going to be second, and so they ranked them way lower than they should be so that the French could win.
What?
Like they ranked like the US like 6th and the French won, and it like lowered the US points enough that the French couple won.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, dude, it's all rigged. Like they just make it up.
I feel like you shouldn't be able to judge.
Have the same nation. I know that's immediately what I said following that. I was like, how do you have it so that judges are judging their own nation?
Yeah, I mean the same could be said about referees, honestly. Like I know
they do. Actually, most of the time they try not to. In international play, they try not to have them line up. Sometimes they do because they have to, but I know they try not to.
All right.
Yes, I agree.
We've avoided enough. We're getting into it anyway, but dude, like I feel like the reason that I
How
can't tell
could
if you're
this
mocking me.
happen to me? No, I thought you were getting into. No. I was doing this
I'm not
because I
getting
thought
into
you
my
were getting.
facial hair. No, that's not what I'm getting into. I'm getting
I was
into silver and gold, the Olympic hockey.
That's
that
why I
we-
said, how could this happen to me?
I
I knew you
feel
were getting
like
into.
the penalties in the game, like excluding everything else, like coming back from what we were just talking about, the referees. I feel like the reason we didn't get more calls in the game was because of the controversies with like the check game, with the I'm blanking.
Dude, they only in the finish game. Yeah,
like
they
blaming the refs direct. Like
they
both
only they literally only called high sticking penalties because you can't miss those. Like I think they were just terrified for either country to be like, this game got ruined by the referees, and so they're like, we're just gonna let them play. And of course, Canada was the better team and carried the play for the majority of the time. So of course they're going to be penalized more, which is why we bitch and moan about it. But I think they just didn't want to be involved at all, which I prefer over them being over involved.
True. I prefer more like rougher hockey, but like there were a couple like obvious hooks that just weren't called.
Well, there was an obvious too many men. Obvious too many men.
Oh, and too many men.
Missed.
Yeah. Who touched the
right,
puck,
right before McKinnon missed that open net. Like right before that, they had objectively too many men on the ice and played the puck. So I don't disagree with you, but I really think
I don't think that's why we lost the game. Let me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Like our power play was really doing anything anyway. Like they were getting some good chances, but like the best chance we had was like a Celebrini somewhat shielded shot.
I mean, it was dominant all tournament, and we got one, maybe two opportunities in the game. We you know what? We had a 5-on-3 for 1:30 and didn't score. So we can't bitch about them not making calls because we had a 1:30 long 5-on-3. That alone disputes any argument that the ref cost us this game. I don't think they did. I agree with you. They missed calls for sure, way more on Canada than the US, but I don't think that was a bias thing. I think that was more, they just didn't want to get involved and Canada had the puck more. So of course they were going to be penalized more.
Yeah.
That was kind of how I felt about it. But I mean, in the moment when we were watching it, we were certainly bitching about the officials.
Did you see what they named? Apparently the nickname that they were using for Hellebuck was in the tournament.
No.
They're calling him the Secretary of Defense.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of a sick nickname.
That's kind of
I know.
Maybe that's why he won't let Winnipeg actually win a lot of games, because he's like biased towards the States.
He's a deep-rooted American. He's like, I can't have one of them Canadian folk.
Like, well, twice in a row. Like,
imagine.
Man.
Yeah,
like let's.
I mean, I'm just going to ask you point blank because I also have to go to the bathroom. So this gives you the floor here for a second.
Okay.
Just give me your thoughts. Vent if you have to. Just let it all out.
Okay.
That was horrible timing, knowing that I'm about to go pee, bro. That was horrible timing, but you're fine. Figure it out. Lock in.
All right. Oh, man. I don't know. Like, I kind of want to have him here for this discussion, but we talk about the Olympics, the names that come to mind, especially in that finals where, well, what wasn't said in the media was we're talking about Matthews, and Ben's going to be pissed that he's not going to be here for this discussion. But the one time that we don't hear anything about Matthews when he's in a tournament that actually matters, like we're talking about playoffs, Olympics, is when he's actually cooking. Like you always hear him get shit on, like especially in the playoffs for not showing up. We looked at the stats. He basically in the playoffs, the only time he was under point per game was I think his second playoff run ever, which was against like the 2018-19 Bruins who won the President's Trophy. And since then he's been seen as a seller. And then you have this tournament where he had, I think in like the semis and the finals for the Olympics, he was the only person to have 3 or more points. He had 4 points. Nobody else had 3.
He had 3. Nobody else had 3.
Okay.
Next closest was 2, but yes.
Okay.
I don't even know. I literally didn't hear anything else, and I knew you were talking about Matthews from that stat.
Yeah, I was talking about how like they were only like he only gets shit on in the media. Like you never hear when he's doing well. But yeah. I don't know. Like, do you think he's going to bring this back to Toronto? Like, I can never tell when it's going to translate when somebody's playing international play and cooking and then comes back. Like, I thought Elias Lindholm was going to have a huge year, going point per game. He's not been doing that. He was like in the IHF championship. He was cooking with Sweden. And he comes back to Boston and he's playing okay. He's playing like an NHL like second. Like
I think the like morale of winning the tournament has a bigger effect carrying over than the fact that he played well. Like I think he's obviously a really good player and he's gonna play well when he comes back because he's a good player. But I really think, it really doesn't mean anything because like the game is so different. The game is so highly skilled in the Olympics and he was playing with such highly skilled teammates. He was playing against such highly skilled competitive competition that like he's going to go back to Toronto and his line mates were Domi and McMahon. And he just came from playing with Gensel and Boldy. Like, of course, there's going to be a massive adjustment for that. Like Gensel and Boldy are so much better than McMahon and Domi. And so I think at the same time, he's going up against worse competition. So I think, I really think it just has no effect. Like there's so much proof that like it doesn't carry over. I think the biggest thing that'll carry over is the fact that he won. He was the captain. And so he's going to be in really high spirits. And so it's easier to play well when you're happy than when you're obviously not.
Do you think he really should be the captain for that USA team? Like, I know they won, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like...
Well, pick someone. Can you name in that room someone who's like a leader?
I feel like there's
like
people
not really
voice to be a leader, like, or the chance. Because like, I don't know, like, I guess Matthew showed up when it mattered, but you think of him as like a locker room guy. I don't know, like maybe Jack Hughes in a couple of years, or like actually Matthew Tkachuk's not a good example, but I don't know. Yeah, and you can't even like Quinn Hughes isn't even that type of guy that will like really speak to the team. Like he's just such a quiet guy. I could be like biased and like name like Charlie McAvoy, but I don't know. It's hard. And Jack Hughes winning it in overtime. You gotta think that's huge for his confidence, you know?
All right, my bad. I'm back.
Yeah, I know. You keep leaving me. It's lonely over here.
I'm back now for real. I'm back. I'm back now for good.
Was that Jakey?
Ugum.
What was he cooking up?
He was just asking me about food that was downstairs if it was mine.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing important to share.
Yeah, I like some food.
But okay, I think he does deserve it because I think he's their best forward. Maybe Eichel's better. But like Eichel, I don't even think wears a letter for Vegas. So
people forget, man, if Charlie McAvoy didn't save that goal, we don't get overtime and Canada wins.
There's so many if Hellebuyck doesn't get that lucky ass behind the back paddle thing on Devon Taves. Okay, but it's still luck. Like, yes, he knew roughly where to put it, which is skill to know like where he's going to shoot it, but it was luck that he hit it.
That's true.
But I think Matthews is deserving of it because I think if you think about the best players on that team, Quinn Hughes, he's not a leader. Jack Hughes is not a leader. And I only say this based on the fact that, I guess Hughes wore the C, but like, I don't know. He just seems like a quiet dude. Eichel, I don't even think wears a letter for Vegas. So you're not going to pick him.
Yeah.
And then like McAvoy maybe, but like I feel like your 1C compared to like your second pairing defenseman is more deserving of the letter.
Yeah.
And I guess one of the Tkachuks, but like
was he playing first pairing with Hughes? I'm pretty sure he was.
Yeah, I think he was. They were splitting him up. Like they had Faber briefly with him, but they had Faber and Slavin mostly, and then Werenski and Sanderson/Hannafin. But yeah, bro, that team is nasty. The decor is so good.
It's kind of crazy that we get a more dominant team in women's hockey than we do in men's hockey. Like the USA women,
the American women's
tournament,
they were so much better the whole tournament than anyone else. Well, part of it is because Canada took like all these old bums. Well, not bums, but they took everyone who was old. And like I've seen stuff that like they said arguably the three best Canadian women weren't even on the team outside of Philly Poulin. That like they left 2 or 3 of the best at home anyway, because they went for like a more veteran team.
Bruh. Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess Canada left Bedard at home.
But like they, in my opinion, they were the best team. They didn't win, but they were the best team.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And
kind
so
of crazy.
I think,
I kept expecting us to score for some reason. Like I was just like, okay, Canada will.
well, yeah,
win.
we've done it all the games. That's how we've done it forever. Like we just got the goal when we needed it, like every time. I know.
It's just double American gold really just sucks. Do you see the thing about Jarvis? They were like, what are you gonna do with your
He's like, I want to sell it on Craigslist.
yeah.
Like real.
So
Bro.
yeah, probably me too, buddy. Actually.
But then
If
did
I
you
was
see
Jarvis,
Sanheim? Did you see Sanheim? They asked him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like it's at home in the fireproof safe." Like I know obviously Canada wanted gold, but like it's still an Olympic silver medal. Like it's still a pretty
yeah.
cool accomplishment. There's still hundreds of thousands of people who train years and years and years to get one of those and don't ever come close.
My opinion, that silver means significantly less with Russia not at the tournament. Because it's like, all right,
I still think they're the third best team.
Win out of USA and Canada, but like, dude, I think Russia. Like, okay, I know we shit on their centers. They have the best wingers in the tournament. I think you can say that. I think they have definitely.
But the defense core is so soft.
Yeah,
that's the biggest issue for me. Is they can't win a draw. And like in those games, bro, like they had John Cooper was like calling out plays like you were playing Madden. They had stuff so pre-planned out. And like most of it stems from winning an ozone draw. And if you can't consistently win an ozone draw, you're going to struggle to maintain. Like look at McKinnon on the power play. How many times we bitched about the fact that he didn't win the draw and the first 30 seconds of every power play were killed because they'd win it and dump it down.
Okay, but
and the fact that their defense core is soft as Charmin. Is really why I don't think they'd threaten to the same degree. I mean, obviously the third best team still.
Yeah, but like maybe get like some AHLer, so like low level NHLer that we barely know the name of, to come and just win the draw.
Who's good at the draw? Yeah, you could do that.
And then just let Kaprizov.
You could do that.
In Kucherov.
I mean, you could just win the draw and change. Like that's Canada did that with Horvat in all the time in the gold medal game. He'd go out there and he'd win a draw, and then he'd like instantly change.
Like it's effective.
I know. It could work. It could work. It's just like you can't rely on that all game in every situation. Like you can't take every draw.
Like McDavid and what's his name, McKinnon, don't really win draws like that. Like Matthew's going to win the draw every time again.
And look how many times they took draws still in the gold medal game. Like I bet you McKinnon had over 10 attempts.
Yeah, and he probably won.
I know, I get that, but it's like, but my point is that like it's hard to get a designated centerman out there every time in every situation. Like eventually, you just have to leave the lines as is and trust them. And I think they get burned.
And you have to rely on guys like Ovechkin and Kaprizov to carry the play.
Who also suck at defense, I might add.
That's
so you have a soft decor, wingers that don't play defense, and you can't win a draw.
Outscore them. Which would be an issue against the States. I don't know how much of an issue it would have been against Canada.
But I guess they have a goalie who could just win any game for you at any time.
Yeah. You would need to rely on Kucherov, Kaprizov, Ovi being 3 goals.
They need to score, like I was going to say, you need to at least score 3, and you need whoever of Vasi or Shesterkin or Sorokin, whoever is in net would need to cook. And that's the recipe for success. But that's what I mean. That doesn't feel like a recipe for a medal.
Dude, only if you could trade one of those guys to Canada for a decent center.
Yeah, bro. Like you could have Suzuki. Like we'd take.
I'd
take Svechnikov, Marchenko. Like I'd take any of those guys.
All right, enough Olympic talk. This is getting me depressed.
I agree. I guess you may have done this, but I guess shout out Jack Hughes. Like. You scored the second golden goal.
Yeah.
Sid's still above you, but like shout out, like that's pretty cool fucking accomplishment that like very, very few humans will ever get to say. So, shout out, unfortunately. Tate McRae, you're a traitor.
Yeah. God. All right. We got to just unadd all her music on Apple Music.
Yeah, I agree, bro. We got to boycott her.
All right, what else has been happening recently in hockey aside from the Olympics? Because it feels like the Olympics is all that's been on the brain recently.
I know. Okay, one last thing before we get out of the Olympics is, can we talk about how disappointing of a tournament that was for Sweden? Like they lost in the quarterfinals because they finished third in their pool. They finished behind Finland and Slovakia in their pool, and so they had to play. They
Slovakia
had to play in the pre-quarter. They had to play in the pre-quarter games, and then they had to play the U.S. in the quarters because they were so bad.
Right, I just realized.
And so,
Yeah.
like that's not good. And like their goalies were pretty bad, and their defense were really soft. Oh, off he
I'm
goes.
still
But
here.
yeah, I mean, I thought their forward core was good, and it did the job pretty well. Like Nylander had a decent tournament. Why they had Philip Forsberg as the 13th forward was really weird. Their coach made a lot of weird decisions. Like he healthy scratched Bratt in the most important game, but played Wenberg and Holmberg instead. Like you're telling me Bratt isn't more effective than Holmberg. And then he also had it where he sat Bratt for 2 periods and then played him a ton in the third period after not playing for 2 periods and just sitting in the middle of the bench for 2 hours. Like that's not a recipe for success either. And this is this guy's only job. Like literally coaching Team Sweden is this dude's only job, and he
I think that's the problem.
mucked it up this badly.
I saw somebody talking about it, and they were like, he's like an international coach.
Do you want to come back on the screen?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking away. Give me a second. But he's like an international coach that's coaching NHL players, so it's a different way to coach. And he just doesn't understand the NHL game. Like when you have like NHL players coming to the NHL tournament, it becomes an NHL Olympics, not just like a international.
It's not a normal world like IHF event. Like it's still like they're gonna play like a North American style hockey. And so I mean you can play European style hockey, but you have to still adapt it to the fact that like these are the best players in the world, and they're used to playing 20 minutes a night, most of them. 16 to 20 a night. And so you just weird decisions, man. I don't really know how else to describe it. Like playing Pontus Holmberg and Alex Wenberg over Jesper Bratt and Philip Forsberg is like just malpractice.
Wasn't he trying to play Philip Forsberg on defense? Like he was their 7th defenseman.
Yeah, he was. And then he also he dressed OEL just to not play him a single minute in their first game. Like, bro, it's the first game against Italy. Like you killed them. Yeah. Why does he have to sit on the bench for the entire game? Like, just weird stuff. Anyway, just wanted to get that out of the way. But yeah, let's move back on to more NHL topics. So first, there's been one trade coming out of the roster freeze. You know, a somewhat surprising one, like not one I saw coming. But Samuel Girard, as well as a 2028 second-round pick, are sent to the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for Brett Kulak, who was acquired in the Tristan Jarry trade from the Oilers. Initial thoughts here, Capo.
Like I just said, but like Dubas masterclass. Like if we're honest, Girard's not that much worse of a player than Kulak. If you're looking at like the points, I'm pretty sure career like Girard has like 100 more points or something, and they played about the same amount of games. Kulak obviously is better defensively, but a second for him, like cooking.
Yeah, Girard makes $5 million this year and then $5 million next year as well. So that's really why Colorado wanted to do it.
Well, I don't think Pittsburgh's pushing that aggressively, right? Like
no,
that's a good use.
Kulak makes 2.75 for 1 year. So they essentially cut their spending in half this year and got out of another year of Samuel Girard because, you know, they have Sam Malinsky, who they just signed to a 4-year, $4.75 million deal that kicks in starting next year. And Malinsky's the same player as Girard for cheaper and he's younger. So it's a no-brainer that you're going to pick him. And so I think it makes sense for why Colorado did it, but I think great use of weaponizing your cap space by Dubas.
I don't think that you needed a second on there if you're Colorado. Like honestly, I honestly think you get it done for a third. And I think, like you said, like it makes more sense. Kulak plays more of a third pairing role than Girard does. He like with the amount of skill they have on
exactly. I know.
Like
I think Pittsburgh got, in my opinion, for them, they got the better player. I actually think both teams got the better player for their team. But I think overall Pittsburgh got the better player and they got a second round pick out of it. So it's pretty that was an A-pluser for me for the Penguins. And I would say it's like a B for the Avs, in my opinion. I think a lot of it depends on what they do with this cap space.
I think it's like an A for both sides if it's a third.
Anything other than a second, I think it's an A for Colorado. But yeah, I mean, have you seen the Penguins like pick, like draft pick?
Yeah,
stock?
they've got like what is it like 2 seconds?
They have their first each the next year's no other first, but then they have 2 seconds, 2/3 this year, 2 seconds, 2/3 next year, 3 seconds, 2/3 in 28, and 2 seconds, 2/3 in 29. So they have at least 2 picks in both the second and third round for the next 4 years.
Yeah, that's
like
cooking.
That's nasty. And you're probably not even going to pick all those players, I don't think. Like, I think eventually you're going to package some of those to go get a player, a underrated prospect that you think you can develop. And knowing Dubas, he's going to pick the right guy. Because what you think of how he trades and negotiates contracts is one thing, but his talent acquisition, or like his eye for talent, is nasty.
Yeah. Except they're all small, skilled guys.
He has a type. But that type plays more than the tree-living Berube type of 6'4" ogres who can't move the puck.
Yeah. It's like me, man. Like, I got my type. They're like about yay high.
They're about 5 foot. They're about 5'5" with blonde hair.
Okay. Not for me. That's you. That's all you, pal.
I'm on the gingers now, man. I'm a changed man.
Yeah, brunettes are the way, pal. Let's be for real.
Listen, if you like playing with fire, if you like playing, no, she's ginger. She's ginger.
Really?
If you listen, man, if you want to take that risk, it's a risk. I won't lie, it's a risk. But
bro.
If you get the right one, it pays off, though. If you can connect on one, bro, shout out absolute current Blue Jays ball knowers, but bro, they're like Eloy Jimenez. He misses 90% of the time, but that 10% of the time you connect, man, you send it 550 feet to dead center. Okay. So it's worth that risk.
While we're on the topic of baseball, W choice to let Bichette go. That guy actually looks like hot ass in spring training.
Bro, Kyle Tucker wanted 25 more million. We were offering him, I think, 350. Oh no, he wanted to get if we could get up to 400, he would have said yes.
Take the Jays offer, and then LA was like, "We have infinite money."
I was gonna say, did you see the offer he gave him, bro? Like, you can't blame him, man, bro. Like, $64 million. Like, I can't blame him. Like,
it's like it's a whole other house in the Bahamas, dude. Like,
yep, I know.
Going on. Let's talk about injuries quickly because I don't want to linger on them for too long. But
there's
basically the youngsters
few coming out.
There's
a few coming out of the break.
Crosby 4 weeks coming out of missing that last finals game, and then now it looks like Marchand might be out for the season, which sucks. For him.
That's crazy.
He was cooking. If it's a hip injury, he might be like that. Might be wraps for him coming in the next couple seasons. I
don't know. There's just been like this weird. We're recording this Wednesday, February 25th. But so obviously information may have changed by the time of release, but they just are like it might be season ending. We don't really know, but it's like weird. It's like weird reporting. Yeah, I know. We play him tomorrow, so we'll see. And then
no way.
Mikko. I know, but I more mean like they play their first game tomorrow, so we might get more information then.
Okay,
they might be more willing to share. Also, Mikko Rantanen and Josh Morrissey are both considered week to week coming out of the break, but Morrissey, it feels like next week he should be back. Rantanen, that one's going to be more longer term, it sounds like. Mm-hmm. And that's really all for the notable injuries. There's a good chunk of players came off IR today or will tomorrow as well. And so there's not really a ton of players who are even injured, period, outside of the players we already knew were hurt.
For a second, but do you see they had him playing D now?
He's viewed as a healthy scratch for tomorrow's game. But that's a situation I actually have. I wanted to touch on that. That Laine situation, man. So he has 1 year left at $8.7 million. Obviously, he's been hurt the whole season up to this point. That was I just think Laine is one of the most polarizing players in the league right now. I really think he's a guy that I have no interest in touching whatsoever, like for any team. I think he's making 8.7 million. He can't stay healthy. He's proven all he has is his shot left. Like he's got no skating ability, nothing else really. And so I think if you're like, there's nothing to resurrect. Like I'm all for resurrecting players' careers, trying to change up stuff. In fact, I almost think I hold on to players' potential value for too long, and I'm completely out on Laine. I think he's been just destroyed by injuries, which is unfortunate because if you look back at his early highlights, like his 2019, 2020, like around then highlights, he was a really, really good player who was dynamic and had a wicked shot. And he just doesn't have that anymore. And I just think I have no interest in him. That's the Canadiens' problem. That's the Canadiens' $8 million problem. And if you want to get bailed out of that situation, you can give me a first-round pick is what I'd be doing if I'm a team with cap space, just because, they're competitive. If he's healthy, you have to pull him off the books or pull him off LTIR, which is coming. And so, yeah, I would, if I'm a team with cap space who wants to take him on, I'm like, first-round pick. That's the minimum to take him. And otherwise make him sweat it out. Yeah, dude, 8.7 million for a guy who's not even really an NHL player anymore.
Yeah. Well, unless they're willing to retain. How long's left on it?
Just 1 year. I don't think they'll get a first. I think they'll probably a team will drop and say, if you give me like a second and a third, I'll take it.
If you retain like 25%,
that's still like $6 million that you're taking on for a bum. Like $6 million for a player who's just like gonna
let's not act like
in
the right situation in the right mental capacity. He's not a guy that.
But it's not even that, bro. He can't skate anymore. Like he literally has his lower body is so cooked by injuries. He literally can't skate. All he can do is shoot the puck, and that's all he does do. He gets in the ozone and he just looks for a shot right away.
Yeah,
like he is so a negative to any team, bro. That's why I'm
he's
like
still young though. I don't understand how you get that injured so young. Like he's only
young
26, 27. Oh
no. He's
he is. I was looking at it the other day.
He's 27, turning 28 in 2 months.
Okay. Well, still 27. Dude, you should not be.
Well, yeah, he's had a lot of injuries. Well, he's like blown out his knee multiple times, and he's had hip stuff. And so it just happens. And he's a big boy, too. Like he's 6'4", if I had to guess. So, like, that's a lot of weight. And he's just not the same player at all. Like with the shot he has, if he had any ability to skate, I would be jumping all over him. But I just think, and I also think the Canadiens are in a horrible situation with him, like with him specifically.
I don't know.
That's why
I like the Bruins taking a chance on him if they can get a pick with him. Especially
Canadiens would do that in a heartbeat.
We have cap space.
You have like $2 million cap.
Okay, so you give them Middlestad back and happy days.
Canadians, I feel like, would take that in a heartbeat because, like, at least Middlestad's a useful player.
Yeah. Well,
even though he's bad,
I don't think the Bruins should hard push this year. I think it's still like a let the young guys get a little bit better.
I think that's their plan. I've heard them. They've there's been crickets about their plan for the deadline.
Yeah, normally I hear crazy stuff and like something happens, but I'm hearing.
Actually, I've seen Ristolainen. That's about the only player I've seen that they're interested in.
I've just seen unks. I've seen like 31-year-old players that are what they are
on a lot of term too. You're looking at players who like have term. Like you're looking to acquire someone who's like going to stick with the roster long term.
He's not willing to give up a first or a second for somebody that he doesn't think is going to stay.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. But like, there are other players who are not 33 years old and like one of the worst analytics advanced stat defensemen on the planet that you can trade for.
This is true, but I don't think he's willing to pay for it. Anyway,
we shall see. Yeah, speaking of trades.
All right.
Sorry.
We got to figure this shit out.
We'll get better. First time back. But I was just going to say briefly, Kevin Weeks tweeted that it sounded like Tyler Myers was going to be traded around 6 p.m. tonight. He was held out of tonight's game for trade-related reasons. It sounds like a deal. Probably next 24 to 48 will get done.
Buddy, watch it be the Bruins, bro. Like, we do not need another.
If I had to predict, it would probably be a second and a fifth going back for Vancouver. Would be my guess. He's a good shutdown third pairing guy. Who knows?
Well,
but yeah, I just wanted to touch on that.
Who are the top buyers?
For a player like that?
Well, no. Let's just talk about who we think are like the top 5 buyers right now going into.
Okay, wait. Yes, I want to get to that, but there's one other thing I want to talk about.
Oh my God, we can talk about. He's going to come up later.
Oh, I guess he is too. Okay, also briefly, Americans, you guys are dumb. Dylan Strome is Canadian. He did not play on the American Olympic team, and he did not go to the White House. So I just feel like that needs to be said. Okay, people online think that Dylan Strome was like there, and he's getting destroyed online. And it's like, buddy, he's Canadian. Like, he's not even American. He's literally from Canada. So anyway, just wanted to say, free Dylan Strome. You don't deserve the hate online that you're getting for no reason.
I haven't seen any of this, bro. Targeted reels.
Yeah, you got to be on Twitter, bro. Algam and Jake put me on. Anything that's on Twitter like that, they put me on. Because I'm not really on Twitter like that.
Yeah. All right. Top 5 buyers at the deadline. We got the deadline in a week Saturday. So that's a week and a half from the date of recording.
Yep.
We're gonna be together. We're gonna be live, ideally, if we can. Otherwise, we'll
probably be recording. I think what is likely going to happen is we'll be recording kind of that whole morning into the afternoon, and then we'll just clip the interesting parts and kind of make that a podcast of all of our live reactions to the trades.
Yeah,
basically,
we could go live for the whole thing and then just clip the rest down because we can just record it while we're live.
Yeah, but we'll see. That's a worst case scenario. That's what you're getting for content related to that.
All right. Number 1, actually, you want to go the first couple?
I'll go number 1. This is my team because the Leafs ain't it, and we'll get into the Leafs later on.
Is crazy coming from a Leafs fan. Crazy. This is my team. That wording,
okay, but the team that I'm cheering for to win the cup because the Leafs clearly are not winning the cup this year. So this is a team that I'm cheering for that I want to win, and the Buffalo Sabres. I think the window has been they have been ass for so long. I feel like you finally have a good team, a good year. Is it maybe necessarily the best move to instantly go trading first round picks and prospects the one time you get good? No. However, you have the longest drought in, I think, almost professional sports history for the playoffs. So do whatever you can to get in the playoffs. There's some holes in that middle 6, and I think they need another shutdown defenseman, like another PK first guy, maybe Tyler Myers. You could bring him back. I don't love Tyler Myers as a player, so I don't think that's who they should go get. But I think there's very clear holes in that middle 6. And I think if you want to take a big swing, I'm going for Mika Zibanejad. I was all over Panarin to the Sabres before he went to the Kings. I like Mika Zibanejad. Obviously, he's got a little more term, but he's only making about $8 million. I guess the only issue with this is if you bring him in, it probably spells the end of Alex Tuck, and I would not choose Zibanejad over Tuck. Like, I would rather sign Tuck than sign Zibanejad. Well, because just where the cap situation that they're in, I don't know that they'd have the money to bring in Zibanejad's $8 million and then sign Tuck to like the $10 million, $11 million extension that he wants. Is more what I mean.
The cap might go up. We'll see.
It will, but I guess they have $5 million cap space right now. And you definitely have some like you can move out Jordan Greenway's making $4 million. You could move him out for sure. And then in the offseason you maybe get into a power, but that's not for now. But I think Zibanejad's a really good fit for that team. I also think Bobby McMahon's a really good fit for that team. And then I think a more third pairing shutdown guy who isn't Tyler Myers is kind of the ideal deadline for me for the Sabres, but I think they should be all in. I think they should be willing to trade their first, second, third this year and maybe one other prospect. Maybe 2 others if you're going for Zibanejad, but I think they should be all in.
All right. Moving on. We'll get into the next closest American team to us, the Detroit Red Wings. The Iser plan is in full effect, ladies and gentlemen.
It's cooking, bro.
It's cooking. I mean, it was absolutely not cooking. It was turned off and cold last year,
Mhm.
but
But
come back
bro,
in a big way.
their prospects are looking good. Like they've got a few there in college who are cooking. They've got a few younger players on the roster like Emmett Finney, Marco Casper, who are showing they're NHL players. And I think the fact that those prospects are finally working is why I'm not afraid to go trade my picks this year. I don't think they should touch their prospects. I think they need their prospects more than Buffalo does because their roster is older than Buffalo's is.
Yeah.
But I think your picks, even maybe next year's picks, have to be available at the deadline. Kind of the same reason as Buffalo. You're finally good. You're finally up at the top of the Atlantic as the Torontos and the Floridas and the Bostons to a lesser extent are really starting to drop. And I just feel like now is the time to go get a big player. I don't know who that is, but go get it. Go get a Robert Thomas. Like, don't be afraid to trade 2 first-round picks for Robert Thomas and
How
like
about
make a huge splash.
Dougie Hamilton for the deep? I feel like for them, like honestly,
I also really like Dougie.
up front, they're not like, I think they low-key have pieces up front. It's their decor is just old.
Oh, their decor's so bad. I know, and they don't really have any prospects. I think Dougie's a really good fit there on the right side because you have the Edmondson Sider pairing. But then after that, it gets pretty shallow. And so Sandine Pellikka is a left shot. And so you could kind of have a Sandine Pellikka and Sherratt, I think. And then someone on the left, like a Mata, I think they have. Oh, no, he might be in Utah. I don't actually know. But then someone in Dougie. And it's like, okay, like you can see that decor there.
Yeah, I see that.
And they
I
have
really like that for them.
They have $48 million in cap space. Like I think they can make the $9 million work for Dougie. And also it wouldn't really cost you anything. It would cost you maybe a third, and you're getting Hamilton.
Maybe do like a 3-way trade, and you send the Canadians first to New Jersey. You pick up Dougie, and you take on Laine's contract.
Well, Dougie's on New Jersey. I guess, yeah, you could get both of them. Like you get Laine and Dougie. Yeah. That's what. No, I was clarifying. I was asking.
The first goes from Montreal.
I mean,
Dougie comes to Detroit.
And the first just go. Oh my God, it would not cost that much to get Dougie.
Okay, but like,
honestly, yeah.
Something
I would say you could do say it's Laine, a second and a fourth is the required thing that needs to go with him, right? That and Dougie, and then the fourth and third goes. You do the one of the fourth goes to Montreal, and then you give him that third. Yeah.
3-way
I like that. I actually really like that. That's not going to happen. But I really do. I actually do like that.
Hockey's trading is not quite as cool and reckless as the NBA. That would happen to the NBA.
Yeah, with all the money that they. Yeah, I honestly even like just getting Laine in general if you're Detroit because you have $48 million in cap, so it doesn't matter that you're taking on an $8.7 million player who's not going to play for you. Like that literally does not matter, and you get extra picks that you then can go spend on other players. I kind of like that move actually a lot.
All right, we'll keep her.
We'll keep going. Yeah.
Next team is a team that we've seen. That was unintentional rhyme. The Edmonton Oilers. You need to find a way to help McDavid.
No, I have to burp.
You need to find a way to help McDavid get over the hump. You need some secondary. I feel like this is the story always with Edmonton. You need a goalie still after getting Tristan Jarry, but they're not going to trade for one because I
think he's fine, bro. I think he's good enough. I really think he's better than Skinner. I really do. I think he's an upgrade. And so I think if you fill out the holes on the rest of the roster, their deep core is pretty good.
Dude, he's still a mediocre at best goalie in the NHL.
I know he is, but there's just none available. Maybe you take a swing on Saros in the offseason.
But that's what Stuart Skinner was in the playoffs. Like, how is this going to be any different? Like, he played really well.
They got to the finals. That's maybe not on the goalie. Like, there are other issues on this team that could be solved that could win them the one extra game they needed, and they have a cup.
Yeah, that's true. We're like here in a very different discussion.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, Stuart Skinner's probably still the goalie if they win one more game. And I also think Jar's making 5.3 for 2 more years after this. Like they don't really like that's their guy. Whether you think it was the right move or not, that's their guy at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, Bobby McMahon's been heavily rumored there. I think that's a really good fit. He's really, really fast. He's got some skill and he's different than what they have in terms of like he's really fast. That's not really how I describe their winger core looking at it.
Yeah.
And so I think he'd be a big upgrade for Dry, probably on that second line. And then I would also look to flip like Adam Henry because you need to make the money work and go get a 3C like Ryan O'Reilly. Maybe even Zaka. Like if the Bruins want to make it a more hockey trade type thing, like maybe it's Mangiapane, a second and a third for Zaka, something like that. I know you're like, and I don't love that, but I'm just spitballing general ideas here. I would trade one of your current roster players to make the cap work, as well as some lower end picks for a 3C, and I'd get McMahon for probably like Isaac Howard would probably as like the main piece going back to Toronto. Like do that. I think that's really the ideal like deadline for me because that decor is not that bad. Like Bouchard, Nurse, Ekholm, Wallman, Emberson, and then like your 7D being Spencer Stastny, Alec Regula, whatever, your 60. I mean, maybe you can improve that a little bit too. But like it's pretty good. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. Like it just feels like the Oilers like they need to because their scoring is so central to McDavid, Draisaitl. They very much come in waves. It's like McDavid and Draisaitl are scoring. We're top of the division. Oh, they're not scoring. We don't have any depth. Like they have depth. That's not the issue. The depth just doesn't score all the time. So I like those moves.
I know they need more of RNH. But I think by getting if you get Ryan O'Reilly on that third line, right? You could play Ryan O'Reilly, Bobby McMahon, and Jack Roslovic, and that's a line that will produce on their own.
Yeah,
and then that still leaves you. Like, I don't know what their normal lines are, but it still leaves you whoever McDavid Hyman and whoever Draisaitl Nugent Hopkins. Like that's still your top 6 with a really good third line. And so I think that's the area. Like get difference makers in the middle 6.
I like that.
I think is the solution.
A team that hasn't had issues there is our next team on the list, the Montreal Canadiens. They're a team that it feels like that they have the pieces. If Montembeault actually decided to play like prime Montembeault, I don't know what's happening with him.
Can we say prime Montembeault? Like, is that going to be a phrase we're going to say?
I feel like you have to. He was playing so well.
I guess last year he was pretty good, but like, yeah.
Dude,
I like where you're cooking with this stuff.
Last season where he was looking unreal.
Yeah, I know, but like it just was so inconsistent anyway. But yes, anyway, this was not the point. This was not the point of what you were saying.
Bad more than he's good now. And back then he was good more than he was bad. He was inconsistent, but he was good more than he was bad.
And then Dobish is mid and Fowler's not ready. So what does that lead you to, Capo?
Okay, well, we're going to get to this team later on in the episode, but Sergei Bobrovsky, last year of his contract, comes in. This is a guy that's won back-to-back cups. Florida has no hope of three-peating. I think he's your guy. He's a guy who's still playing well for his age. He obviously is able to do it in the playoffs. And I think like you add him to that, you don't even, I don't think you even need to send Montembeault back. But if you did, I don't think Florida's complaining that much because it gives them a semi-young goalie. And then you can just have like Dobish for the future. Like this is a guy that very much for like 1 year can get it done in the playoffs for you. Like there's like, this is probably like your best chance since 2020 if you're the Canadians to win a cup. And I really feel like Bob isn't going to cost you that much. Florida will do it because they're not going to do anything this year, and Bob's expiring anyway. They don't have an extension in place. So why not get something for him and give the Canadians a chance to go win a cup?
Okay, I love what you're cooking. I actually love the Montembeault being part of the return part. I think that's a really good idea. However, it's Jacob Fowler that's the future, not Dobish, just for the record.
Okay,
Fowler's
well,
like the number
sorry.
2 goalie prospect, but I just felt like we need to clarify that for what's the word?
I forgot his name, and I was trying to
I
say
know, but I know for so people know we have puck knowledge. I just felt like I needed to correct that. But I agree. I also think Montembeault being part of the return obviously probably makes it not have to be a first round pick going back the other way.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
you could get it.
I literally just thought of that part as I was talking through it.
Yeah,
Like,
what are you
going to do with
cooking with
Montembeault
that?
then?
I really like that because then Dobish can still back up this year, and then you
maybe
have
Montembeault
Dobish.
figures his game out next year.
I mean, he was in Florida to start. He started Florida, drafted him. So I really like that, and it gives at least Florida somewhat of a answer next year because Danilo Tarasov is not the answer next year.
Yeah,
and so it doesn't leave them completely high and dry in net. Wonder if they would take back that Seth. They want to trade. They want to cup with it, but wonder if they take back that Seth Jones trade now, for Spencer Knight. But I think that's a great idea, and I think that's really the most obvious hole that Montreal has that would dramatically improve that roster.
Yeah.
I also don't know why I feel this way about it. Maybe because they made the playoffs last year. I don't feel as aggressively that they need to buy and be trading their first round pick like I think Detroit and Buffalo need to.
Who, the Canadians?
The Canadians, yeah.
Yeah, well, they're still young too. Like, but they're young but more successful than the other two. Like,
yeah, exactly. So,
like, they're now,
and they still have waves of prospects coming.
They're no longer like in the rebuild phase. I think they're out of the rebuild officially.
I think all 3 of these teams are now. If they weren't prior to this year, they are this year.
I think like Buffalo's kind of edging right now.
No, I think they are.
What happens? Well, Boston was where Buffalo was like right
but
now.
But look at I get that, but look at the roster. Like the roster's young and up and coming, and they still have prospects who are up and coming that haven't played yet. That's why I say they're out of the rebuild because like they're not gonna get worse now.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Whereas like Boston could still get worse next year.
Okay.
But I think they really need to extend Tuck. You can't let that guy leave. All right. Last kind of 2 teams here as we get into the mammoth that is also in this division, but the mammoth division that is the Central. So the Colorado Avalanche and Minnesota Wild both need a center. Colorado, you could argue Nelson is their 2C, but I think he can play on the wing too. I think they need a middle 6 center, another middle 6 center, and Minnesota very glaringly needs a 2C. These are the 2 that I'm actually quite confident and would be willing to call my shot on the podcast. That these are where I think Vincent Trocheck to the Minnesota Wild and Nazem Kadri back to the Colorado Avalanche. I'm calling my shot on those 2 going to those 2 places. I think Trocheck fits in super well. He's basically a better Ryan Hartman, who is their current 2C. And he provides that much needed scoring depth after the Kaprizov line. And for Colorado, they have 8.7 million cap space after that Samuel Girard trade. Kadri makes like 7 point something. You could get probably a little bit of retention on that. And you go get him, you put him back, then suddenly your centers are McKinnon, Nelson, Kadri. Like, that's disgusting. Yeah. That's probably the best 1, 2, 3 C in the league.
I like that, but I think you're wrong. And I'll elaborate more on this later on when we get to different teams in the sellers list. But I think we get Kadri to Minnesota, not to Colorado. Just for the fact that they need a solid guy more than Colorado does.
I think Trocheck's better than Kadri, which is why I think they get Trocheck over Kadri.
I like Kadri as a player more to be able to produce by himself. I don't know why. I don't know why. That might be personal bias. You can pull up the points all you want. I don't care about
to.
You can pull up the points all you want. When's the last time you see Trocheck go point per game? You're frozen. I don't enjoy this.
Last
year. What was his point total? It wasn't 91 points.
He had it was 2 years ago that he was nasty, and he actually wasn't point per game. He had 77 points. Is his career high.
So my point stands. My point stands.
But he's like,
Nazem
he's a consistent 25 goal guy, 60 to 70 points. He plays both power play and penalty kill. He was just on Team USA. Like,
Okay.
I don't know. It's a nasty guy. And I actually, and arguably more importantly, I'm pretty sure he's about $2 million cheaper than Kadri is.
Yeah, well, maybe it's because I've watched Kadri more, but I don't know. I feel like his ability to score on his own is more than that of Trocheck.
Yeah, I'll give that to you. I mean, the Leafs played Calgary right before the Olympic break, and he really impressed me. I'm not going to lie. He looked really good.
Yeah. Anyway, and then I'll talk about who I think is going to Colorado in the future when we talk about the sellers. So let's get right into that. The first seller that we got on the list here is the Nashville Predators, who it just seems kind of obvious as your Wi-Fi shits its brains out.
Yep.
You got lots of guys on that team that you can sell. They're obviously not good right now. Their experiment was to build the team in free agency. Obviously, is not worked now, panning 2 to 3 years that they've just not been able to put it together. And it's time to go back into the rebuild. That's just a fact. So guys like you've already mentioned, O'Reilly, Stamkos is on the table. And honestly, like we can fly through this because I think that like regardless of destination,
Marchand.
Yeah, Marchand.
Although I did see a report that there's not been any talks with Stamkos about waiving his no move clause.
Like Saros in the summer.
I think you get Saros, Forsberg, and Yossi. I think you move all three of those guys in the summer.
Yeah, you get many. Holy.
I know. I really think you should move Stamkos now. He's actually had a pretty good year. Same with O'Reilly. They've actually had pretty good seasons. I think O'Reilly for sure is gone. I think Marchand is very much likely gone as well. And then there's probably some more peripheral, less big name players, like some of their depth defensemen, some of their like bottom six forwards probably get moved too. But I think Stamkos is really the question, and I don't think they move Forsberg, Yossi, Saros yet. That's just too hard of a deal to do this like mid-season.
Yeah, I think like another team that's in a similar place is St. Louis, where it's like this is like a kind of defining moment for your franchise as to what direction you're going to go. Like you got guys that are quality that teams want. You got Thomas.
I think
out for a long time. Kyrie's similar. Like since he was a second-year player, has been talked about getting moved.
I personally would not trade Robert Thomas if I was the Blues. I think he's a 26-year-old center, has proven he can be probably a first-line center. You still have like Snuggerud, Broberg, Holloway. Like you still have some younger players who've shown they have some skill. And so I think to tear it all the way down is not the best idea. But I think Kyrou is 100% you trade him because you're getting a first and a playable prospect from that deal. Mm-hmm. I think you move Parayko because you're getting the same, if not higher, return from that. I think you move Falk for whatever you can. I think you look at Binnington and you see what's out there. You see what someone's willing to give you.
I was going to say, do you think that you could get somebody for Binnington?
The only issue is in the NHL, his stats have been horrible this year. Like until he went to the Olympics, I guarantee you nobody wanted him.
Yeah, but he's just that kind of guy. It's like when he needs to win, he plays well. It's like almost like a mindset for him. It's like,
but that's just so risky.
I don't have to play well.
That's just risky to take a swing on a guy like that, though, because like he could just be having a bad year, and like he just doesn't figure it out, and all of a sudden you've pulled the trigger on a $5 million goalie who's dog shit.
Yeah. That said, that's another guy that could be an option for Montreal if you can't get Bob.
Yeah, a lesser move. And it would probably cost, if you were willing to give Montembeault, it could probably almost be 1-for-1.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think you have to give Montembeault in that one.
I know, but it's just you're stuck in this weird 3 goalie position if you don't move Montembeault.
Well, how long's how much term does he have?
That's a great question.
Because if he's only got like a year or two left, like
I think he's got 2. Would be my guess.
Because then you're in like a position like
he's making 6 for this year and next year.
Yeah, like that's manageable.
Especially St. Louis would definitely be willing to retain.
Yeah.
Like you could get that down to probably 4.
I would agree.
And that's nothing.
Well,
I
and then
think
you
at
have
4.
Bobrovsky and Montembeault for this year. I don't know, like, if you want to keep Fowler in that rotation or not.
No, Fowler they already sent down. Fowler, I think they tried that experiment and it didn't work, and so I think they're just leaving him in the AHL because they don't want to ruin his
Who do they have
development.
playing up right now?
Montembeault and Dobish.
Okay, so
That's why I'm saying move Montembeault, because otherwise you're stuck with Montembeault, Dobish, and whoever you trade for. And so that's a weird 3
Well, I do think,
NHL goalies.
Montembeault better than Dobish, right?
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah,
Then why is he the starter?
Montembeault's been, dude, they sent Montembeault down to the AHL. He was so bad at one point this year.
Yeah, the Bruins did that to Rask too to figure his shit out for a while.
Dobish has a 9.26 and an 8.92.
Wait, what?
And
You said 9.26 and 8.92. That doesn't make
he has
sense.
a 2.96 goals against average and an 8.92 save
Right.
percentage. And then Montembeault has a 334 goals against average and an 875 save percentage. Like, he's been horrible. Okay, actually, looking at this, Montreal needs a goalie. And I think they need either Binnington or Bobrovsky.
Or blockbuster trade.
Or Stolarz. Okay, we're getting into that later. But I don't think they would be the team to do that. All right. Next team. You kind of teased this earlier, but we think the Florida Panthers should be sellers. I think
it makes so much sense.
If Marchand's out for the year, you already are down Barkov. Don't rush Barkov back. Tell Marchand take a seat for the rest of the year. Get Marchand and Barkov healthy. You allow Tkachuk to play some games here after his groin surgery, so he and then he has a normal offseason where he's not hurt. And obviously, like guys like Lundell, Verhaeghe, Reinhardt, they've been healthy. They're fine. You basically only move Bobrovsky, maybe Evan Rodriguez, because I think that guy's pretty expendable. Obviously, he's a good player, but like he's pretty expendable, and you can replace him in free agency, and you probably get a second and a third for him. And then you move Bobrovsky. That alone will make your goalie's ass, and so you'll be worse. You'll lose more games. Maybe try and get to the top 5 where your pick's protected. Otherwise, you've won 2 cups, so who cares if you're giving up a high pick? Like, it doesn't really matter. You don't really care.
Well, and you're gonna get back in the return anyway.
W Chicago? Do they have their pick? I actually don't know who has their pick this year.
It might be the Bruins.
It's Chicago. No, it's Chicago.
Bruins have
Chicago.
them.
It's Chicago and the Seth Jones trade. So yeah. I think that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much more that you need to say about it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to fact check here.
I'm like 99% sure it's Chicago.
Yeah, the Bruins have theirs next year. God damn, the Bruins this year. Yeah, I don't think we need to elaborate too much on that. Like, it's just,
I think that outline's pretty
kind
clear.
of just retool so that their window doesn't come to a slamming halt like the Bruins did. Although,
and also you can do this because you have your entire core signed through 2030. Like literally every player who you consider a core player other than Bobrovsky on that team is signed through 2030. So it doesn't matter if you have to take 1 year off.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not like you're like, oh, I just cooked like the only year where we were able to hold this roster together. Like, no. Zito's cooked so hard that it doesn't matter. You can take a year off, get everyone healthy.
Fact, you can get some like young pieces in this. It'll help you for the future.
You can get a few other Mackie Samoskevich-esque players. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Keep her going. A team that's kind of in the similar place, except they've actually cooked harder this year. The Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't know how much you agree with me on this, but I think it's actually an insane move for them to sell right now. And people can go either way on this. I think the guy that can kickstart this is Sidney Crosby. You take that guy off your roster, you're instantly a much worse team. You kickstart the rebuild. And I think this is the guy that goes to Colorado. He has so much chemistry with McKinnon. Out for 4 weeks hurts this tremendously, but it also makes him a lot cheaper. And so when he's back, this can really power a Colorado push back into the playoffs. And you're talking about a guy that's going to make you have the best 3 centers in hockey. This guy's going to make you have the best 3 centers in hockey maybe ever.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about McKinnon and Crosby. That's the best duo center pairing since Gretzky and Messier. Like, you can't really think of a better.
McDavid Draisaitl, I think, is arguably better. They both won a Hart. They won a Hart like back-to-back years from each other.
Crosby's won a Hart. McKinnon.
Yeah, but he's not Hart caliber Hart trophy good yet. Or right now, sorry. Not
oh
yet.
my God. I was like,
what am I talking about, bro?
Yeah,
he's not
present.
Oh no, he's really good. Don't get me wrong, he's really good, but I'm just saying the Oilers have 2 perennial Hart candidates as their 1-2
You can tell me
I can't believe I'm defending the Oilers, bro. I hate the Oilers.
I prefer to have Crosby over Draisaitl right now on a cup contending team.
I guess as your 2C, I agree. As your 1C, I'd rather Dry.
Okay.
But I think the fact that they're 2Cs, I agree. I'd rather Sid because I think Sid fits the role of a second line center better than Draisaitl does.
Yeah. And he's
so, okay, I agree with you for that.
Already. Like, if you put him in a place where he doesn't need to be the main guy and there's other distractions around, like, you'll imagine how much he's going to cook in that system.
I think this is really a really cool conversation. I just think the injury does not let it happen, unfortunately.
I think the fact that he's hurt. I genuinely think this helps it because it makes it so that, like, they might actually be willing to move him.
I was going to say, I think the injury to Crosby, well, one, cooks their chance to making the playoffs. Like, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, which is why I actually think they will sell. But I don't think they'll sell Sid and Malkin and Letang because they've just said over and over and over again, I don't want to be traded. I don't want to be traded. But I think the Sid injury allows them to get into
one place
Brian Rust.
Would be willing to be traded.
Yeah, it's Colorado. I would agree, but I just don't think this is the year. Like, he's still going to be good next year, but also Pittsburgh's kind of looking up. I think Sid will be fine next year.
39 years old, he's still going to be good. We can't guarantee that.
I'm pretty confident he's still going to be good next year.
The fall off can happen at any point after 35 for any player.
Yeah, but I just think he takes care of his body too well, and he's done it for too long that, like, he won't look at like Tavares. Like, Tavares didn't just drop off a cliff. Now, by no means am I saying Tavares is Sidney Crosby, just for the record, but I'm just using him as an example of the ultimate professional who is aging, but he's still, like, he scored his 20th goal of the season this year. And, like, we think of him as washed, but he has 20 goals and 45 points right now. And, like, that's in a 2C role with not much power play time. Like, I just don't think Sid is going to drop off that aggressively. I think even if he were to get worse, it would be gradual to where he's a 70, 65 point player. And I think that's Colorado still takes that as their 2C. Even if he's that next year, I just think it's really hard to trade him when he's injured and is already wishy-washy about the idea of being traded.
You get more for him
now. I think you would. Well, yeah, obviously, because you have more you get more time with him. So, but I think more interestingly, I think if Pittsburgh's willing to sell, bro, like, they could get. You're probably getting Raquel is probably a first, second, and a prospect that's playing right now. I think Russ is probably a first and a prospect that's playing right now. And even if you just move those two alone, like, that massively, say you get a 27 first and a 28 first, or 26 and 27 first, right? Now you suddenly have all those seconds and thirds we're talking about and the extra firsts, and you're getting 2 players who are replacing their spot in the lineup, ideally, in terms of prospects. And so I think then that also kind of creates a window where you're like, I could see why Sid would want to stay. They have a really good young core. He's going to be the leader. He's going to try and help them get back to the playoffs. Then he retires and the young core takes over.
I see that. I don't know. I'm half hoping that this just happens.
I would love for Sid. I'm also kind of playing devil's advocate a little bit too, get a little bit of a debate going. But sure. I just don't think he gets moved. With him being hurt, I don't think he gets moved. I think it would be much more likely if he wasn't hurt.
Because, okay, we can go back and forth on this for days. Let's get to the last team we have on the sellers list here. The team that you're wearing on your head.
Please, bro. The fact that we got waxed by Tampa is a great start, boys.
Exactly how I felt last year. Like, can we please just lose more games, get rid of people?
They want. I'm like, okay. I honestly think this is what I really want to happen. I think we can sell the deadline, get futures to make a trade for Robert Thomas if we wanted to get frisky at this deadline. But more realistically, get picks that can be moved in the offseason for players, but primarily target prospects as the return, like an Isaac Howard from Edmonton in the McMahon trade. I think you target the prospect first over the pick, and it's probably Isaac Howard a third, or if you want Mangiapane because we need to take money, Mangiapane, Howard, a third and a fifth for McMahon. I'm thrilled. You flip OEL for a first and a young defenseman, whoever you want that to be. I don't care. Dallas is the one that I keep saying, get their 27 first and Lee and Bitchell, or Bischel, however you pronounce it. That's the move I really kind of hope they do. And then you go to your UFAs, you go to Lawton, you go to Stetchers, the other two, and you say, are we going to get a deal done here? If not, we're trading you for whatever picks we could get, probably seconds, thirds. And then I would move Nick Waugh because I personally hate him, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think we move OEL, McMahon, and then one of Waugh or Lawton. I think Waugh we move if we extend Lawton. I think if we can't extend Lawton, we move Lawton.
What if they buy? Because I thought they just messaged their season ticket.
If they buy,
do everything.
Genuinely, if they buy, bro, I had a pretty good crash out after they lost Game 7 to the Panthers on this podcast last year. I had a pretty good crash out when we lost in 5 to the Panthers the year before that, or 2 years before that, right? All-time crash out if we buy at the deadline. Like, I'm losing my mind if we buy at the deadline.
What if you cook?
No, the only way I'm agreeing with buying at the deadline is if we're somehow going out and getting a Robert Thomas, a Jordan Kyrou, something like that, like a young player who's going to be a perennial top 6.
Seriously, make a difference, like a noticeable difference.
But if we go out and we trade for Ryan O'Reilly and Tyler Myers, and those are the two moves we make, like, I'm done being a fan of this team.
You said that. I think I've heard you say that like 3 times in the last 5 years. It just shows how deep in your blood you love this team. It's just like in your heart, and you just can't.
Dude, I know.
Ish.
I know. I wish I didn't care as much as I did, but what's the fun in that at the same time? Right. At least Matthews and Nylander are good.
I mean,
they're playing well.
Yeah. Matthews is playing well.
Yeah. The guy who has the most points in the 2 most important games the last decade in hockey. Yeah, that guy's pretty good.
And what's he doing in the NHL?
Dude, we're buns. Our team is not good.
That doesn't affect him as a player. Your team was not good when he was a rookie. He scored 40 goals.
Yeah, he's on 40-goal pace this year, too. He's on 40-goal pace this year, too.
Prime now. That was rookie Matthews.
He's actually not. 28 is not considered your prime anymore, technically.
What?
The award winners are like 23. I guess 28 is the last year of your prime. 23 to 28 is like the 5-year window where like 95% of people win their awards. Like, that's the age range of 95% of the award winners.
Damn.
Is 23 to 28. And after that, you like barely win any.
Hashtag Patrice Bergeron. Built different.
Yeah, there's obviously a few like outliers, but like the majority of award winners are that age.
All right. Well, you're talking about Matthews already. He was cooking in the Olympics. We might as well get to our Olympic effects section of the podcast here. We've moved on from buyers and sellers. We talked about that for a good amount of time. If you want to see more of our opinions, they're on our Instagram at Fantasy Hockey Pucks. We'll link that again before the end of this podcast episode. But now we're going to get into 3. We got 3 players each that we think are going to be playing better or worse after the Olympics. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You go first. You keep it rolling.
All right. So my first guy who had an insane tournament, almost out of nowhere. I won't say like completely out of nowhere, almost out of nowhere. Juraj Slafkovsky pulling. Oh my God. I can't breathe. pulling his nation on his back. He like by himself made his whole fucking team. Sorry, I don't need to be this aggressive, but he just made his team better than Sweden. He was like a Four Nations team, like on his back.
He's actually also having a really good year too. He's
centered by like some random like guy from some league in extra liga or some bullshit. Actually, I don't think that was the center on the first line, but I remember looking at like their second.
I'm pretty sure it's Dalvor Dvorsky.
I think he was on their second line. Dvorsky. Let me fact check myself.
Are the lines even still posted?
They gotta be, right?
I assume so. If you Googled Slovakia lines, you'd probably find him. All right. Do you have anything else to add on this while you fact check this? I guess I'll kind of add my opinion. I agree.
They pulled it down off of the.
They had on a daily face-off, but yeah, I agree. I think that's a really good pick. I think he's riding a hot hand. I think he goes back to a line with Suzuki and Caulfield. Like he goes to one of the best lines in hockey already, and he's cooking. I agree. I think that's a good take.
No, they had Ruzicka was the center.
He's an NHL player, I think.
He is.
Adam Ruzicka.
Yeah.
I think he's on Calgary.
Marinson was playing. That's pretty funny. Dvorsky was on the third.
Marty Marinson, bro. Shut out.
Yeah, it was this guy.
Oh.
What's his name? Milos Klemen. Bro, there's that guy's not in the NHL, bro.
No, he's definitely not.
Who the fuck are you?
All right. You got anything else to add?
No, you can go on your first.
All right. My first guy is Matthew Nyes. Now, this is not Leaf bias.
Ooh.
He's a good player. Like he started the year up. The first 35 games, he was point per game. He gets rocked. I can't remember where we were, but he got just destroyed and since then was not the same player. He had a lower body injury that had been nagging him since like game 30. And if you look at his production from that point, it heavily fell off. He heavily became an assist merchant because he didn't have that like power move that he had where he'd drive to the net on those 2-on-1s, or he didn't have the same speed to get by someone on like as the guy driving the net. And so he was not scoring the same degree. First game back, first thing I noticed, like 2 shifts in, I was like, this is the fastest I've seen Matthew Nyes in 3 months. So I was expecting that. He showed it. He had a goal tonight. He's gonna be back in the top 6. Now that he's healthy, it's gonna be Matthews, Nyes, Domi. That's gonna be our first line now that he's healthy. And I think getting back with Matthews and that he's healthy, I think he's one of the best buy low candidates in my opinion right now.
Ooh, okay. I like that. I like that a lot. I was not aware of Nyes' slump, but
but it's not even that bad. That's what I mean. Like I think he has like 50 points. And so like he's like only 10 points, 12 points under point per game. But he was point per game through that first 30 when he was healthy, which is why I'm so excited about a healthy final 25 from him.
All right. My second player, we've talked about him before, Jordan Binnington. Now you might be like, oh, Jordan Binnington had a great tournament. He's probably going to play well, right? Don't buy into it. He's going to go back to St. Louis Blues hockey, and within 5 games, he's going to be back to his St. Louis ways. There's no chance that St. Louis is that fortunate that he goes back to playing this insane brand of hockey that he's playing at the national level. It's just not what's going to happen. That's not the Jordan Binnington way. He's going to be like, oh, cool. Now we lost. I'm depressed. Hockey games don't matter anymore. 890 save percentage. Here we come.
I agree, which is why I think it's a risk to trade for him.
Well, I think if he goes to a playoff team, he'll turn it on.
I agree.
All right, who's your number 2?
My second player, for very similar reason to Matthew Nyes, is Braden Point. Once again, in tonight's game, him or Kucherov were the best 2 players. Him and Kucherov were the best 2 players on the ice in that Leafs Lightning game. And like Matthews and Nylander were good, but like they were so good. He had his first step back. He took himself off the Olympics team to get healthy for the second half of the season for the Lightning, and it worked. He had a goal and an assist called back, and I think he still finished with a 3-point night, despite having 2 points called back. Like that is he's struggled and had his struggles documented throughout this year, but he's back and he's back in a big way, and he's their 1C. He's significantly under point per game right now. Like I think he's a solid 15 points under point per game right now. And so, the manager who has him is going to be pretty fed up. Now, obviously, he just had a monster first game back, but, you can still convince that manager that it was one game. And you can get – if you can get point for a cheap return, I think he's the 2026 league winner. Yeah, he's 33 points in 38 games. Okay, he has not played as many games as I thought. But, he's been bad. He's not been very good. And so I think he's in for a huge resurgence here in the second.
I like that a lot. I'm actually looking at him on our Fantrax league right now, and I'm hoping that Tommy might give him to me.
I tried to offer him Scheifele for 0.1 for 1 in November when Scheifele was averaging 2.5
I'd offer a Rupe Hintz.
Yeah, see, the ages line up better there, so he'd be more willing to do that than he would because Scheifele's 31 or 32, so he was less willing to do that, even though points 29 on his own.
Do you think he takes that, actually? I know we're kind of...
Not 1 for 1. Not 1 for 1. I think you'd have to add something else.
Dude, Hintz is averaging
I think if you went Hintz in your first-round pick, you definitely could get it.
I'll start with 1 for 1 and see what he says. All right, anyway.
See, but part of the problem with negotiating with people in this league, bro, is you have to give them a good trade because that's the only way they counter. That's what I've learned. Anyway, that's a topic for off the pod. But anyway, who is your third and final player?
All right, so this isn't one player, it's a group of players, and the reason I'm going to say this is because they were excluded from the Olympics, the Russians. This is different than just your random NHLer who didn't get to play in the Olympics. This is more personal, especially for guys like Kucherov or Ovechkin, this is maybe one of the last times they could have played for their national team. And I think what you're going to see here is it's going to be very volatile for those guys that would have been on the Olympic roster. They're either going to react one of two ways. Either they're going to be pissed off and they're going to be playing their top brand of hockey, or it's going to be the complete opposite, and they're going to be just out of practice of hockey, kind of checked out and not producing whatsoever. So it's really hard to determine which way they're going to go. Obviously, Kucherov had a good game coming out of the break. I don't know.
I was going to say Kucher's pure filth in game 1.
I don't know what Ovechkin was looking like. It sounds like he didn't even turn on a second of Olympic hockey from the interview I saw of him. But I would say just watch for what volatility you see. If they're playing garbage, that's the time to go buy them. If they're playing great, if you think it's time to sell, that's probably your window coming straight out of the Olympic break if they're cooking. Not that I would say you should sell Kucherov because he's one of the most underrated players in the hockey, but yeah, kind of a light take there. But I just feel bad for the Russians, man. Really, I think, it's especially Ovechkin, man. Last chance to rep your country's flag and just kind of stripped from you for reasons that are not yours.
Yep.
All right.
All righty. The last guy that I have is a faller because I didn't want to go 3 risers. That's boring. And the faller I have is Brock Nelson. Here's why. The Avs are already rumored to be targeting a middle 6 center, right? Even if you get Kadri and say Nelson is your 2C, you're operating with a 2A, 2B, and then a 4th line. That's how good those 2 centers are. So that's going to cut into his ice time already. And he's playing 19 minutes a night, which is his career high in terms of usage. As well, the first 20 games of the year, I think he had 8 points and didn't have a goal. He was horrible. And he now is 49 and 55, including 29 goals, which means if you look at his last 35, 40 game pace, he's on a 55, 90 point pace in his last 30. That's not Brock Nelson. That's never been Brock Nelson. And the Avs power play stinks. Whether you think it should or not is a different story. It's 27th in the league. It is not good, which means he's not getting any 5-on-5 scoring. This is all power. This is all 5. Sorry, he's not getting any power play production. This is all 5-on-5 scoring. a second line center is not going to maintain 55 goal, 90 point pace consistently over the course of an entire season. He had no break going to the Olympics. He's coming back as an older player already, with everyone else now having fresh legs that he doesn't have. And he's already been so red hot at an unsustainable pace. It feels like he could be really bad. I don't think he's going to be, but there's a potential where he in the last 25 games gets like 12 points and is really bad. And so I think I would look to sell him now more based on the fact that his production was so good before the break than the fact that he didn't have a break, but that slightly plays into it. And so for those two reasons, I'm completely out on Nelson the rest of the season. And the fact that they might trade for Kadri, which would hurt his ice time.
Okay. I like it. I like the take. Let's move on. I think that's open and shut for Ben Rutledge right there.
I had an extra in case we got to this, so I just want to shout him out. Riser Logan Cooley was just activated off IR after being out 10 weeks or something like that. Yeah. I think hot, like as a like risky guy, you could probably trade for him for next to nothing, and he may actually be on your waiver wire depending on how many IR spots you have. But if you can get him for cheap, I think he's worth the risk. I'll just leave it at that.
All right. So we, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new segment here on the podcast. I know you might be familiar with the Ozone from a while ago, but we're going to be ending our episodes this year, or this season, I guess I should say, or whatever from now on until we decide that we want to change it up with a segment that's called "What's on Your Mind." And so this topic is basically going to be like, if there's anything that we wanted to talk about that we couldn't find a way to fit into the rest of the podcast in like a section that we had, we'll just kind of yap it out here. And it's more of a collaborative segment. Maybe in the future, if we get enough following, we'll try and shout some of you guys out. If you
this can be definitely a segment that's designed for your questions. Sorry to kind of interrupt you there, but yeah,
exactly.
As we start to, we obviously want to have a relationship with you guys. We want you guys to be reaching out to us. Like, we don't want to be viewed as just this like entity that you're looking at. So like, or that you're just listening to and yeah. So reach out to us on Instagram at Fantasy Hockey Pucks. Send us your questions. We can even, if you guys start sending us questions for next week's episode, we'll get them in. So if you're still listening at this point, we really appreciate it. And yeah, send us your questions and we will certainly get them in the segment moving forward.
All right, let's get right into it. I tried to crack this open a little bit earlier with our talk of Montreal and what I think would make them the powerhouse of the league, even better than maybe Colorado. Connor Hellebuyck would be one hell of a piece if you could pull him in somehow, like giving up like a prospect in a first or two.
Probably multiple. It's probably multiple again.
Probably 2 firsts and a prospect is probably what gets it done for Connor Hellebuyck. But oh my Lord, would that ever make you, if not the Cup favorite, a top 3 Cup team?
Yeah, I think it would catapult your odds because I mean you're acquiring probably the only position that maybe center for McDavid, but probably the only position that, in my opinion, is pretty clear-cut consensus number 1 player at their position, and that's Hellebuyck. Like right now, he's the best goalie on the planet, and I don't think there's much else he just won the Hart. Like there's not much else, and he just dominated that gold medal game. Like there's not much else you can say. He's the best goalie on the planet. And I think for the Jets, I mean, it kick starts a rebuild like we've not seen. If you get 2 first-round picks and a prospect who is a recent first-round pick, so you're basically getting 3 first-round picks. Like we have not seen that return in a really long time for a player.
Yeah. Well, and then you need to start really selling. If you have,
and then you'd have to sell other pieces.
Honestly, to pull that move, you already almost have to have other people on the line. Like these are people that we want to sell, and kind of bunch them together. Because like if you sell just Hellebuyck, you're kind of like, do you get great pieces? Yes, but like you're not going to be like, you're already bad. Let's be real, you're already bad. But the assets you have are going to be like not moving in either direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like obviously you're not going to contend, but you're also not bad enough to get like a top 5 pick.
At the same time, though, the more I'm thinking about this, you could do the Hellbuck move on its own. Because if your plan was then to use those assets to go fill in the holes on other spots in your roster, they have a first line. I get that. And I actually have a proposition. I actually have a team in mind who would give them a goalie back. But you already have a first line and you have a first pairing. And pretty much everything else is not good enough. Right? But that's the hardest to acquire. Is that first line, first pairing of Morrissey, Pionk, and then the Velarde, Scheifele, Connor line, which is good. I mean, they're playing right now, and Connor has 2 points, Scheifele has 2 points, Velarde has 2 points. I'm pretty sure. Like that's it. Like they're their offense. And so, if you move Hellebuyck and are able to acquire 2C with the first, and are able to acquire third defenseman with the first, and then you sign some other players to filter in there, and you have a few prospects who aren't playing yet. I think there's a world where you could trade Hellebuyck and make it work. Obviously, it needs to come
instead of
yeah. And I think if you can get that astronomical of a return, I think you could make it work.
This is the question because there's Freddie Anderson in free agency, and then a large line of shitters.
You want to know who the goalie is?
Who?
Karel Vejmelka of the Utah Mammoth. I think Utah is one of the teams in a position. They're in a disgusting division where they need to be really good to compete in it. And Colorado and Minnesota and Dallas are not going anywhere. Colorado's definitely could fall off, but Minnesota and Dallas are going to be good for the next 3 years at least. And Utah's planning on contending in that time. I think you go Vejmelka and 2 firsts and maybe some other depth picks or like a B prospect. Because Utah's fine giving up those picks. They have all those picks and they have so many other prospects that aren't playing yet. And I think it gets you your goalie. It gives Vejmelka back to Winnipeg, who's a competent enough goalie to make the retool work, like I was saying. And then Utah gets their stud goalie who solves the fact that their D-core is only okay. And then all their forward prospects develop, and you can see a path where that's a nasty, nasty team with the best goalie on the planet.
I can see that working. You need a crazy vision if you're the Jets GM.
Oh,
and
I know.
Also, you got to pray that you don't get shipped down to Houston if you're for selling the heart winner of the league and then not being able to sell seats for the rest of the season and the start of next season.
That's what really makes the Jets rebuild. Adds a whole other wrinkle that no other team has to deal with.
Yeah, it's like you might lose your franchise. Like Arizona's in a similar place. But at least they literally just needed to get an arena, and they couldn't get that done.
Yeah. Whereas that's not the issue in Winnipeg. Like the issue is that they don't put enough butts in seats, and the league is pretty confident if they were to move them elsewhere, they could put butts in seats, and I think they could.
Specifically, Gary Bettman is very confident that if they went to the U.S.
I think they could, and I don't think it should be in the U.S. I think give Hamilton a team. I
also think that there's other
Quebec a team.
I think Houston should have a team. But then again, who's playing hockey in Houston?
That's why I think you should just move them to another place in Canada.
Might you get more seats, butts in the seat in Houston? Sure, but they're going to be all mediocre fans. So you're not going to get.
I know, but it's all business, and so they'll make more money in Houston than they will in Winnipeg.
Part of it is how devoted you are to a team is how much you're willing to spend on.
Yeah, but that share, I believe, of revenue gets split between all the teams. So it doesn't matter if the Jets, or it doesn't matter if Houston doesn't sell a lot of jerseys because Toronto sells a lot of jerseys. So they'll balance out.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense. That makes zero sense.
I know. Trust me, I know.
Your product is making the league money. You should get the benefit, not like every other team.
I know, but they have revenue sharing to make it.
Not
more
every
fair.
team can have Connor McDavid.
Yeah, well, and also not every team is in Canada also, which
is that not what I was talking about for how to fix the cap situation? Anyway, we'll get into that in another episode. This is already
that's whole. We get it. We get heated when we get into that topic.
Oh, all right. Enough talking about the Jets. I think Hellebuyck should be on the move regardless. I don't think he's just going to be wasted on that Jets franchise unless they.
I don't think they're going to move him though.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see.
I think it would be really cool if they did. I think the only way they do it is if in the offseason they decide the only way to go is rebuild and they tear it down heavy and Hellebuck gets moved.
Well, it definitely won't be at the deadline. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's not getting moved. Imagine, though. Oh, my goodness. That would be insane.
You're already talking about one of the deadlines of all time. If the Hart winner from the last year gets moved.
It's, bro, that 2023 deadline, though, bro. That was the deadline where like Chychrun, Timo Meyer, Patrick Kane, like that was that deadline. Remember, there was like 5 trades a day for like the entire week leading up to the deadline.
Yeah,
that was that's when Leafs got McCabe too, and Ryan O'Reilly too. That was an insane deadline. Bruins got Orlov and Hathaway,
and Bertuzzi.
Yeah. That's what I mean, bro. You could name almost every team in the East and they made a blockbuster. Like it was crazy.
And that's why the East just mogs the West now.
Yeah. Although changes are coming though. Changes are coming.
That's
and
true.
You want to know why changes are coming? Because there's teams like the San Jose Sharks who, according to David Pagnotta, if Adam Fox were made available, would give an offer that would be, quote, hard to refuse.
I wonder what that is, because it better not be like Will Smith.
My guess was Sam Dickinson, who's like their number 1 defense prospect. Musty, who's like another high-end prospect winger.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like 28 first, top 15 protected, something like that. Like first far in the future when they know they're going to be good. That's what would be my guess of a return. That might be actually too much, though, honestly.
That's the point of me asking the question, when are you going to get Celebrini some help, man?
I mean, they spent 2 seconds. Dude, they spent 2 seconds for Sherwood already.
This kid is maybe the best prospect we've seen since Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, McKinnon has become
pure prospect. Like Matthews and Hughes are in that discussion, but in terms of actual production, it's McDavid. Yeah, I know. I know. I was just clarifying because there is technically a difference in terms of prospect quality and then like rookie quality.
Yeah, but like I still, first year you're an NHL prospect. You know what I mean? That's what I think in my brain.
But yeah, he's nasty. I mean, he was he led the Olympics in goals, like, and he's 19 years old.
And he probably should have added one in that finals game. Like he had so many good chances.
He had I think he had 7 shots. I think he led the game in shots.
Yeah. Man.
I know.
Yeah,
anyway, staying off that topic. I think this year's too early. You already went out and spent 2 seconds to get Sherwood, right? Unless you're making like a Robert Thomas-esque move. Like I exclude those moves that are clearly made for more than just 1 year. I exclude as like a deadline move. Like deadline moves are when you acquire an older rental who's designed to fill a hole for just right now. I feel like.
Yeah, it's not what you
and
need.
I think
you do need.
I think
like a 25 to 27-year-old with a couple of years of term would be ideal to add to that top 6 core.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think I would wait. In general, I think they made a move to get 2 seconds for Sherwood, right? They tried to be like, okay, if we add a little help in that middle 6, and then he proceeded to be injured for almost the entire time they've had him. But they were like, I think the next week, they'll be like, can we win enough games to get, because right now they're like 5 points out of the playoffs. Like that's with like 3 or 4 teams.
Me personally, I think they'll make the playoffs.
There's like 3 teams in between them. They're like 5 points out of the playoffs. Like I think that's tough. That's like the same position as the Leafs in a worse conference with less points. They have like 5 less points than the Leafs, but they're in the same spot in the West as the Leafs.
Yeah. But I think for that
reason,
they're win the games.
Yeah. I just think I would wait. I would not rush it. I would wait. You still have like Michael Misia's barely playing. Sam Dickinson's barely playing. Like you have some really, really, really high-end prospects who have yet to make any form of an impact. I would wait.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, true.
I actually think Chicago.
Next year we could be looking at a San Jose team that is
ready to go all in. Listen, I'm not against going all in a year's time. I just think this year's not the year.
Okay.
I think on the flip side, I think Chicago, who has less high quality prospects in San Jose, like their prospects are not the same degree. Like if you were to rank them, San Jose would be definitely above them. I think Chicago is a team that should look to buy a Robert Thomas, a Jordan Kyrou, a Jason Robertson if he were made available for some reason, which potentially could happen. I can't think of any other players who like potentially be on the move, but like even like an Igor Sharangovich if Calgary wants to move him, like Chicago's in a spot where they need more help via trade than just being patient and letting their prospects develop because they're just not as good. And so I think Chicago, that's a team that I would be like, you should buy at the deadline, even though you're ass. Thoughts?
Okay. I can see it. I just feel like that's already bit them in the butt over the last couple of years. Like they've had guys that they've tried to come in and I guess some of them have been successful, some of them not. Like it was like you got Doc that came in. You had
they took him third overall to be fair, but like Bertuzzi's worked. But my point is like there's been some guy like Bertuzzi, Teravainen have been pretty good, and like overall those guys aren't that good. Which is why like Bertuzzi's having a really good year, which is why I think you go get a Jordan Kyrou to put him on the wing with Bedard instead of Bertuzzi.
We're talking about you're talking like a mainstay.
I'm talking like a guy who's still in their 20s with term is who they should go get because they don't have the prospects to the same degree of San Jose where I'd be like, yeah, be patient. They're going to develop.
Yeah. Okay. I also think that Bedard's not your 1C, but that's a discussion.
I think he could. I definitely think I mean, yeah, if you could get someone.
Think he's your one winger. I think he's your best player. I don't think he's your 1C.
Unless, I mean, hey, he's still young. Like, he's still so young. He could change his game, but I think he needs to be willing to make that change.
Thomas is your 1C?
I know. But also at the same time, you could have Thomas Bedard as like a 1-2 punch. I think it's too early to give up on him as a center right now, but I don't disagree.
I know, but I think he could just be like a Patrick Kane-esque player. Like, he could just be so.
I know, but they don't. But they don't have a Taves, which is why you need to hope he can become a Patrick Kane-esque player who's a centerman.
So like Austin Matthews.
Well, Matthews disgusting. I would say closer to like a Jack Hughes or a Jack Eichel.
Okay.
Like more of that player because like Matthews is like a top 5 player defensively. A huge reason the Americans won the.
Yeah, I like to take it. Just top 5 is.
Dude, I've like Barkov, Reinhart, Matthews, Cirelli.
Okay, Marner.
Like
you would,
dude, you got
it.
You have to have some form of physical ability to be an elite
First
defender.
of all, let's take the mic and put it a little bit away from.
Sorry, my bad. But you got to be you got to have some form of physical ability and some form of ability to just bitch someone off the puck to be the best defensively at forward, in my opinion. And Marner cannot do that and will not do that. Sure, is there?
It's insane.
I know, but like there are so many times. I guarantee you, in the playoffs, have you ever looked at Mitch Marner?
I just think this is a little bit of salt.
In the playoffs, have you ever looked at Mitch Marner and said he was the reason we locked down Pasternak, or he was the reason we locked down Kachuk?
I mean, definitely not. But the only person that can lock down Pasternak in the playoffs is the post.
Okay, but my point is like he's not the guy that's shutting them down. Like Matthews at times was shutting down Canada in the gold medal game. Barkov is the best at doing it. Like Reinhardt's also disgusting at doing it. And I just think Marner is top 10 for sure, but I don't think he's top 5. Like I can't think of another guy who I'd put up there, but like it would be like Matthews, Barkov, Reinhardt, Cirelli, and someone else.
Patrice Bergeron out of retirement.
Aye, bro.
Dude, I still think he could be a 3. Like current day, I think he could be a very good 3C.
If he was in shape, yeah, I agree.
I think he still is. I think he still runs.
Hockey shape, though. Hockey shape. Yeah,
it's a little bit different. You know, apparently he was waiting the year after he retired. He's like, if I get a call, I'll join the Bruins again.
Mm-hmm. I do remember that. I remember you thought he was joining them for the playoffs against us. I remember you were like convinced he was going to sign with you guys to play us.
Good time.
Good times
All right.
for real. Same with me.
We're approaching the 2-hour mark here. I think we should probably call it, and we'll save the rest of hockey talk for the next episode that will be coming to you live or not live.
Coming to you just in general.
Yeah, just coming to you in general next Monday. So we're like
you'll be getting this Thursday.
Yeah, this will be
and
Thursday.
then you'll be getting another one Monday. And so that is our tentative schedule moving forward.
And then it'll already be modified next week because we'll be releasing one probably Sunday next week.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Well, yeah, you're right.
I think it might come out Monday, but anyway,
it'll be recorded a day early, but that's just the deadline special. That's all that is.
Yeah. All right. Without further ado, I will ask you, or rather, thank you all for joining us today, and we'll catch you the next time.
And wait, just sorry. I know I'm interrupting you. In
the middle of the line, bro.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. Okay. Remember, follow us on Instagram at Fantasy Hockey Pucks. Also, a reminder: leave a like, a comment, or review on the podcast. Leave a question in the comments on the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Okay. Right, like us up 5 stars, leave a review, leave a comment. Same thing on YouTube. Okay, we're back. Let's create a nice hockey community, fantasy hockey community here, and I'll toss it over to Capo to finish us up.
All right. Once again, thank you all for joining us for another FSG podcast episode, and we'll catch you all the next time we drop the puck. Have a good one, everyone.